And now let me begin this segment by a breaking news. Suren Daimari, the Congress candidate for Udalguri, has resigned from the party just a day before the assembly elections, citing a lack of support and betrayal by the leadership. So that's coming in. So he must have resigned yesterday. A little bit from Sandeep Pukan on this candidate. Then I'll go to Prasannaji. You know, these sort of resignations really spoil the mood.
Well, I mean, it's a bad optic, but frankly, Kartike, in the Borough Territorial Council of the 15 assembly seats, Congress is hardly a player. They're a marginal player. The fight there would be between the Borough People's Front, which is an ally of the BJP, and that's the interesting bit, and UPPL, United People's Party Liberal, which is again an ally of the BJP, except that in this assembly election, they haven't formed the alliance. So in the case of BJP, I mean, heads you win, tails you lose. I mean, in the sense that, they will, whichever party, BJP itself is contesting on 4 and 11 to the Borough People's Front. So that's how they have broken up the 15. But let's say if UPPL wins a few seats, even that will come to the kitty of the BJP.
Okay, that will come to the kitty of the BJP. Prasannaji, tell me, has the shift in Assam politics taken place? 2016, I remember, when they were, the slogan was Khilonjiya Sarkar. That was the word that was being used by Ram Madhav and his team. Those were the articles, the government for the indigenous, by the indigenous. Then came Sarbanand Sonowal, then the entire part, the baton shifted to Hemanta Biswa Sarma, and he started projecting himself, as Brijesh was saying, as a very strong Hindu face like Yogi Adityanath. Hindu Hriday Samrat, and he took on the issue of SIR, the Mia, land jihad. Do you think that that is what is working for BJP in Assam?
It would have worked for BJP if Hemanta Biswa Sarma would not have parceled out land to Adanis and Ambanis and to private sector. The way privatization has happened in Assam and the attendant corruption, which has given a kind of a facelift to many of the unknown ruling elite who are part of the ruling party as well. That has created a different impression that this whole idea of land jihad and all that is ultimately to give out the land to non-indigenous people, to Marwaris, to Biharis, to Gujaratis. And this has created a different sense of crisis in Lower Assam. As far as Ahom people are concerned, they are far more rooted on the ground, and they found it a kind of a destabilizing move of their own identity. Their Karenghor, Ronghor is going to be controlled by outsiders now. And this has become a very important issue. In Assamese understanding of history, the role of Mama is not very positive. The Mama was killed by Lachit Barphukan because Mama was reluctant and negligent to fight the enemy. So therefore, the whole idea of Mama symbolism is not really working on the ground. And then this other factor of minority voters. Bengali Muslim voters still will dominate around 45 seats. And their swing will decide which party will come to power. As Sandeep ji was pointing out about Bodoland, in Bodoland, UPPL definitely has a swing. Anti-incumbency towards BPF and BJP is acting in favor of UPPL. And this time it may not be that easy that UPPL will just join the BJP. There will be hard bargain. In Karbi Anglong too, there is a huge kind of an anti-incumbency. In Dima Hasao, there is an anti-incumbency. In Barak Valley, there is an anti-incumbency. So there is an anti-incumbency counter wave in Assam, with Congress buttressing the allegations of corruption on a particular family.
Okay.
So it's not an easy walk. It's a tightrope walk for BJP at this moment.
Okay, you are saying it's a tightrope walk. Okay, my second theme, which I said I'm going to discuss, SIR has been behaving differently in different states. It did not work for Congress and Lalu sir in Bihar, but I don't know how it's working for Mamta Banerjee in West Bengal, where more than 92 lakh people are out of the list. I don't know. I don't know how SIR exercise would work in other states. So, Dr. Chaudhary, how has SIR an issue or an exercise panned out in Assam? Madam, can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this election, the scenario is completely different. As they have mentioned, Mr. Kukan have also mentioned that and Mr. Prasenjit have also mentioned the indigenous sentiments of Assam have taken a different route. Previously, during the BJP party, we have only seen that it was the development, and in the name of development, things were given to the people who are not the indigenous people from Assam, and that has created a resentment in the state actually. So Congress, with all its alliance, have taken the issues, and now they are taken up the issues which are for the pro Assamese, they are looking into the issues which are for the people of Assam. They're looking into these things, and as far as during the BJP government, what happened is that, as far as my opinion, what I say is that there are the switching off of all the strong candidates from the Congress to the BJP has also that was also a calculative move. It was a more of a political strategy because the contestants who were very strong for the Congress have been switched to BJP. Then that move have also brought a resentment among all the people of Assam actually, and the scenario what you see right now is.
Dr. Chaudhary, Dr. Chaudhary, we can talk about the nitty-gritties, but I have seen that in the last 10 years, Sandeep, what has really worked is in the mobile plus Hindutva plus welfare, the welfare mechanism dominates. Now, I want you to break down, before I go to George and Nirmal, this 1,600 rupee which have been transferred by the Assam government to every household, targeted.
And mind you, this has always worked for the incumbent government.
Almost targeted campaign for women. It worked with Latki Behna, Ladli Behan scheme, Madhya Pradesh. It worked in Maharashtra. It has worked everywhere. Bihar it has worked. So I want your assessment on that. This targeted welfare scheme, which is cutting across caste, community, various other denominators.
Absolutely. Kartike, you look at the fact that the Congress was forced to, in their own manifesto, they have mentioned that if they come to power, they will also be giving 1,250 rupees and 50,000 rupees one-time grant to start businesses. All this is actually essentially, on the one hand, Congress has been criticizing the BJP government in Assam, saying that there is a lot of debt on per capita because of the borrowing that the Assam government is doing uh, without adequate revenue generation, because of the borrowing that it is doing to pay for these schemes. But look, end of the day, people who are receiving money, they are very happy with it. As I mentioned earlier on, there is a scheme called Orunodoy, which means, literally, it means sunrise. In Assamese, it means, sunrise. So under the Orunodoy scheme, uh, different kinds of welfare schemes have been given. And that has, I completely agree with you that, to break it down, it has dominated the election. I mean, as you have brilliantly put it, it was Hindutva plus cash transfer. Then also the Himanta Biswa Sarma government tried to give a lot of employment as well. And by and large, these have been controversy free. People who have applied, they have got in the due process. So, and that is how they were focusing on the narrative. See, one reason why we see the chief minister losing his cool in recent times after that Pawan Khera press conference is because that quickly changed the narrative. See, whether it translates into vote or not, that I'm not going to say. I mean, I can't predict. Whether these are genuine documents, again, I'm not going to comment on that because that's a matter of investigation. It'll be unfair to comment on this way or that way. But what has happened is that suddenly it has shifted the narrative. In the last 4 days, Kartike, from the 5th till today, people have been only talking. I mean, BJP has been talking, defending, trying to give, you heard even the national president in that interview saying that ये passport game क्या होगा,
Yes.
इसका नतीजा हम देखेंगे, लेकिन ये साफ हो जाएगा.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the fact that the national president also had to respond to these charges means that the Congress belatedly tried to shift the narrative. And the reason I would say they have done this is because I think they deep down they know, and it's a fact, whether it's Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, all these women-centric schemes have literally worked for the ruling party. I would say, Kartike, I mean, at some point, I for one, strongly believe that there is nothing wrong in welfare schemes. Because if you give to industrialists, then you say that these are fiscal stimulus. But when you give to common citizens, you call them SOPs. Why?
Absolutely.
They also need help, and I am all for it.